So all this time that I've been using this microphone, I've been hearing it pop and blow up every now and again with my p and b. That's a good test. That's actually what this is. I wanted to test this out. I bought this years and years ago for recording vocals over music. But then I thought, you know what? It's been sitting right behind me on the shelf for like 5 years now. Well, I have used it since then. Not a lot. And so it's been sitting there. And I thought, well, I've just been called a nerd by someone. Rich Marini. And I thought a better way to test this was if I had a little bit of talking I could do. So if you want to hear me just talk about some stuff, I'm going to break out the old book of questions. Let's see what we got here. Now, let's see, a lot of these are just too easy. This was written, well, let's see when the copyright date is. 85. That's almost 30 years ago. So something like this doesn't quite make it's not so much an impact anymore. Which sex do you think has it easy in our culture? And have you ever wished you were the opposite sex? Well, I think men, obviously. I think women's rights didn't do a lot. I don't think they've still come as far as they should. Like, if this is still being asked, then there's a problem. We shouldn't have to ask questions like, which sex has it easier. I don't think there should be an answer to that. I think it should be like, why would you ask that? Everybody's equal. Everybody's the same. Let's see. Ooh. Alright, let's talk about this one. You are given the power to kill people simply by thinking of their deaths and twice repeating the word goodbye. People would die a natural death and no one would suspect you. Are there any situations in which you would use this power? No. Not right now, at least. There's no point in my life that I hate... well, anyone. I try not to hate anyone, but hate anybody to the extent that I would wish for their deaths. And that's why I think I love better than Christians do. Or you're a typical Christian, I should say. I think that's loving your enemy, in my opinion. Like, there's no one that I would want dead. So it's a cool power. And I guess there could be instances where I would be like, you know what? I want them dead. And I would just do it. Would I? I don't know. I mean, something tragic would have to happen. Like, somebody I loved would have to have been, brutally murdered or tortured or something like that. Then that would be too good. Death, I've always thought, is too good. It's too easy. No matter what's after. Like, it's too easy. There's a lot of kids out in the living room and I can hear, or dining room, and I can hear chaos in there. A lot of these, could go in a lot of directions too. Like, what would you consider the perfect evening? What would constitute what would constitute a perfect evening for you? You ever do that? Just see words and just assume you know exactly what they are and just piss through them? I think that's a lot to do with speed reading, because I can read pretty fast. This is an age-old question. This is a great one. I love this one. Sorry for the interrupts. I know I can edit them out. Would you rather be extremely successful professionally and have a tolerable yet unexciting private life, or have an extremely happy private life and only a tolerable and uninspiring professional life? Definitely the second one. I am that person. Could I be the other person? I don't know. I'd like to think that I could. It would be nice to know that there's, a medium, like an in-between ground. Because I think success can be measured on so many levels. Like, it's so easy to see celebrities and consider them successful. But to a person who's completely happy with their life, that's success. Like, you succeeded the game of life, which is probably more important. And I bet you there's a lot of celebrities that is just the opposite. That, yeah, I moved that down because that started to drive me crazy. But I've got this, I should just show you it sometime. You might be able to see it in one of the video tours or something. But there's this metal keyboard riser thingy, monitor riser. So I got the monitor up relatively high. Actually, if I brought them down lower, it would be more natural. I need to do that at some point. But I'm comfortable with it, with where they are now. Yeah, apparently Rich Marini called me a nerd. Oh, Rich. Oh, Rich. Someday you'll learn. He's a good guy. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to... Like, I feel successful as a person. Like, I feel as, you know, I may not exceed at a lot of things. I like to try my best to be a good dad first. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. Literally the hardest thing. Harder than probably becoming the biggest, stage star since Elvis or something. I think I like this pop filter, though. It masks the glow a little bit. Feel a little bit more professional. Maybe I am successfully professional. I don't think if you don't get paid, though, that's not considered successful. I don't know. Anywho, I guess happiness outweighs everything. And if being successful professionally is what makes you happy, then go for it. But if being happy means being poor, then I say go for it. You gotta be happy. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. You guys know what I'm saying. On the road to 40, yeah. Well, how about one more question? Maybe a few more questions. It's only 6 minutes. Okay. Alright, we'll read this one. I should just start at number 1 and work my way up. It'll make more sense and I'll never lose track of where I am. Okay, let's see here. Number 1. For the person you loved deeply, would you be willing to move to a distant country knowing there would be little chance of seeing your friends or family again? Wow. That's a pretty profound question. That's a tough one to answer. That's a mean one to put first in this book. I tell you, it's meaty, though. They had to have read all of them and decided that should be the first one. I guess it asks a lot of questions outside of its own question, and that's wherein, because you have to start questioning your relationships with your friends and family, and then weighing the massive amount of love you have for your friends and family versus this individual. I think I'd be crazy to say I wouldn't, but it's a little different, because I don't know if this takes into context a married person, because if like Carol said I had to leave the kids, that would be a different story. But now that there are children involved, this question has to involve them. They have to be in, because they always come first, for me at least. So if that was the case, then no. But if that wasn't the case, then yes, absolutely. It would be hard leaving people behind. I did it once, when I moved here. Not for someone, just for, for starting a family, it's a wise move. It's very inexpensive, to a certain degree down here. Some things, balance out, though. They really do in the long run. We never have money, but we're also not, in Section 8 housing, which isn't a terrible thing. I'm just saying, we're still able to keep our head above water, is my point. I don't know how I got onto that. What was the original question? Would you move somebody? Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about there. Okay, number 2. This is a good one. I'll try to get up to number 12, because that's the one that we were just in the middle of the book with. Anyway, okay. Do you believe in ghosts or evil spirits? I think I do. I don't know what I believe about an afterlife or a god or anything, but I do believe, for whatever reason, that. I don't know why. Would you be willing to spend a night alone in a remote house that is supposedly haunted? Absolutely, absolutely. I've never feared it. I don't mean to sound like a badass, I do not fear the undead. I shall crush them in my holy grasp. God damn it, Lebowski. But, yeah. I've never feared it, even though I have, even though I do believe it. So, yeah. Especially if there was a bet or money involved. Damn. What time is it? 9:31. Okay, we got a few minutes here. I'm not going to get back to 12. We'll do this one. We'll call it a night. We'll call it time of death. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? I'm not even going to answer this one. You guys ask yourselves that. And I don't expect you to write it down anywhere, but if you want to share it, that would be great to share the story. But this is, I asked somebody this once before, and like, it really broke them down, I think. Because it could happen. I've said it before on the road to 40. I could walk out of the house tomorrow, knock on wood, please don't curse myself, and a plane could fall on my head. If this ever happens, this is the biggest regret, is saying that. And why haven't you told them? And I guarantee most people would say they're afraid. They're afraid to say exactly how they feel. It's so easy to say that. It's like it's just not an easy thing to say. What would you most regret not having told someone? That's huge. That's huge. I can't answer that. Like, I try to live my life, not this way. I try to live my life as though I don't want to go to death with regrets. I'm sure I will, but, nonetheless, like, I want to have as few as possible. Like, that's so I try to tell people how I feel all the time, or as best as I can without, being completely, painful to them or something like that. All right, try to eke 2 more in. No, let's end on this one, because this is really big. It's really freaking big. I think that's a good question. Everyone should ask themselves. I really do. What would you regret not telling somebody if you were dying right now? And why haven't you told them? That's the real, like, gut punch. It's just like, wham, wham. It just gets you right where it hurts. But hey, if you don't want to fear it, then, you got to tackle things sometimes. Sometimes you got to break down the walls. You can't let fear hold you in from doing things. You can let money can stop you from doing some of the things you want, sure. But fear, that's foolish. It's foolish. I live in fear too. I know it's foolish. Sometimes I'm afraid to drive certain street or something. I don't know. I don't have a perfect example for you, but fear is the most controlling of, like, emotions. Like, it takes control, and you have no control at that point. Even your body reacts to fear differently than other emotions. All emotions, you react one way or another, but fear is just commanding. It's like giving up. I don't know. It's like you've lost and the world has won. Anywho, I'm going to hear how this sounds. I'm going to try to edit this one down and cut out those extra pieces. If I get to it, great. If I don't, then, you'll just have to deal with me reading a little bit. You guys have a great night. Thank you for always coming back to the road to 40. It's always my pleasure being here and talking and making you laugh. And if I ever stop doing that, then just let me know. Let me know if there's something I can do to improve things. I'm having a good time. But like I said, there are some nights that I'm like, I don't know what the hell to talk about, but I know I want to do this tonight. It's still a high point of, not the highest point of my day, but it's a very big point of my day when I get to the point where I know I'm going to sit down and do this. And pour out whatever I wanted to talk about today. Maybe talk about my kids, maybe tell a story about my past, maybe play a song. I just really enjoyed doing it, and I'm glad that you guys have been liking it, and that our Rhodians are growing. So spread the word, my friends. I would appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make your bed. Make your bed tomorrow morning. When's the last time you did that? I never make my bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow night on the road to 40.